I'm presented now with a whole new array of opportunities as House Chair of the Joint Committee on Tourism, Arts, and Cultural Development. I have a great partner over on the Senate side, Senator Eileen Donahue, who represents Lowell. So we have a nice blend of the Cape and the mid part of the state. We have plans to take the committee on tour because we want to hear from all of you. We want to hear from the stakeholders, the people who are working every day in the tourism segment and the arts segment of our economy, which, by the way, combined is the third largest economic engine in Massachusetts. So this is no small little fluff kind of thing. This is important, and the number of people who are employed either directly or indirectly in tourism and the arts, it is a significant number of people driving a significant number of jobs, wages, and in turn, all of those people who earn a living in this segment pay taxes. People who eat in restaurants pay meals tax. People who stay in bed and breakfast in hotels pay room occupancy tax. That money flows into both the general fund as well as our local general funds, town by town. So I see the work that I'm doing not only as the perfect intersection of what my profession has been as a bed and breakfast owner, but my passion as a lover of the arts and somebody who from this high, my mom and dad dragged to museums and theater and opera and the symphony and all of that, but also the opportunity to do great work to fuel this economic engine, get it running again, bringing good things for us here on the Cape, as well as really from Provincetown to Pittsfield. So I'm looking forward to that tremendously. But don't worry, I'm not going to take my eye off the ball about things that are important to us here locally.
We as Democrats right now need to be feeling fire in the belly. This is not acceptable, what's going on. What's going on in Washington is not acceptable. What's going on in Wisconsin is absolutely not acceptable. Okay? Right, the statistic is presented so many ways to us. Here's a stark statistic, though. The 400 wealthiest people in this country make more money on an annual basis than the lowest 100 million people in this country. Think about that for a minute. The top 1% is making 23.5% of the income in this country. Okay, that is down from the top 1% making 9% of the income roughly 30 years ago. What is happening in our generation is not sustainable. People talk about sustainability. The economic disparity in this country is going to drag us all down. And there is only one answer to that, and that's a strong labor movement. It's the only answer. And we as Democrats need to become advocates and carry the torch for a labor movement that represents the middle class in this country for future generations. People talk about labor history. It's important to understand labor history, but it's important that we as Democrats lead the target and understand what that means going forward. And we all need to work together on that. It is by process of elimination the only way to fix the trajectory that this country is on right now. So that, you know, of all of the big picture 50,000-foot issues that I'm going to be working on, the filter that I'm going to look at things through up there, every piece of legislation, you can look at it through this filter, is does it represent economic justice, and does it represent strengthening a middle class and strengthening a labor movement that is going to start to reverse the trend that we're on, the trend that we're seeing in Washington. Can you believe the new Speaker of the House, when told that jobs were going to be lost because of the budget cuts that they're trying to put through? So be it. The party of so be it. It is not acceptable. It is infuriating.
I'm responsible for all of your cash. And as you sit here this morning, there is $9 billion of cash sitting in the bank. Now, that's not all our money. Some of it's cities and towns money, some of it's stabilization money, but a lot of it's the Commonwealth taxpayers' cash. So the question is it being handled in the right way? Now, we're not getting very high interest rates. We know interest rates are very low. So I said during the campaign, if I'm elected as treasurer, I'm going to move some of that money. I'm going to move it to small banks, local banks, regional banks, and community banks all over the Commonwealth, including the Cape, from Provincetown to Sandwich to Pittsfield to Andover to Boston to Gloucester to Rockport, because if those banks have additional capital and they have more money to lend, they're going to help small businesses grow, and that's going to create jobs. And we're already doing it. We've got bank agreements out there, guidelines. We've got a comment period now for banks, which will end next Wednesday. As soon as that's over, we're going to create an RFQ, request for qualified banks. Most banks in the Commonwealth qualify. If you have a satisfactory credit rating, according to something called VeriBank, and if you also have a satisfactory CRA, or Community Reinvestment Act rating, then you're qualified to do business with the Commonwealth, and we could put money in your bank. And we've agreed that we're going to put up to $5 million in any one of 200 banks all over the Commonwealth if they want that money and are willing to pay us a competitive interest rate, fully insure that money, because the money has to be protected and insured. It's your money, and you want to protect it. And if they're willing to commit to lend the money to small businesses and to report quarterly on the loans that were generated, on the number of jobs that hopefully are being created, I mean, that's a common sense approach to how to use taxpayers' money to help create jobs and protect the taxpayers' money at the same time.